So yeah, our financial status is insecure. I'm overspending on the wage budget by over £1,000. And we've only won one of our last 4 league games, but who cares? Starman Abbasi signed a new contract to the club without a release clause. He's not heading to Italy. And as for the league, we're in 5th. Yeah, we're not in the continental spots yet, but the team above us, they've played a game more than us. We are back here at Esteghlal to start the week. We are taking on Persepolis, who are down in 5th. Massive game in the league. And after that, the small matter of the Hazfi Cup. Of course, 500 miles on offer for this. Some would say it's more important than the league. Would I agree with those people? I'm not sure. Let's run the intro and get straight into things. Yes, folks, how is it going? And a warm welcome back. It is Esteghlal Football Club. We are in 5th, as I've already mentioned, and this is episode number 6 of the Journey Manager here in Iran. And you know what? All in all, things are going pretty well here. It's the start of December in-game. We've got kind of far into the season, really. Of course, it's a league season with only 30 games. We played 12 of those matches. It's been some really good results for us. Now, admittedly, there has also been some not so good results, which I suppose you can see when you look at the form here. We've been far from flawless, but we're kind of still exceeding expectations. So I'm happy on the most part. Now, of course, at the end of last week, we took on Tractor. We beat them 3-2 off the back of that. Another multiple goal, well, 1 goal deficit thriller. 5-4 it finished against Tehran here. They're a good little team. I feel like we probably should have won this game a little more convincingly. We actually came back from behind. Yeah, it was 4-3 at half-time in this game, but you know what? Hani turned up big in the second half. 2 goals for him were the difference maker as we came back from behind. That felt really good. After that, we did suffer back-to-back games without a win. We took on Paikan and then Zob Ahan. Of course, these are the 2 teams owned by tycoons in this universe. 2 teams predicted to do very well, and well, perhaps somewhat predictably, they are currently 1st and 3rd in the league. Zob Ahan have got a little bit of a cushion on the teams behind them. As for Paikan, a media prediction of 5th. They're currently up in 3rd. I was hoping they'd underperform like they did last year, so they'd sack their manager. But that isn't looking very likely right now. After that, we did actually lose against Aluminum Arak. Yeah, not a great result, that one. A 3-1 defeat, but we followed that up with a flurry of wins in a row, including one in the Hazfi Cup qualifying rounds against a team down in the 3rd tier of Iran. And well, as for the last month, things haven't exactly gone to plan. Back-to-back draws, a defeat, and then a win. Yeah, we set the record straight a little bit against Golgahar. Granted, they are down in 13th, so we really should have been beating them anyway. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We've not been great this year, but to be honest, there's been a lot of teams in a similar boat to us. A lot of teams with 2 or 3 defeats and plenty of draws. The middle of the pack is very close, and we are very much in the middle of it. Today's first game against Persepolis, who are down in 7th, could see us drop down, well, theoretically as far as 9th. But of course, that's not going to happen because we're going to win this opening game. Now, to open up the year, there has been one man who we've been relying on for a lot of goals, and it's actually Mortazavi playing out on the right-hand side of the team. Of course, the young Iranian, a man who I really made a focal point of the team last season with our promotion. This year, there was a lot of interest in him pre-season. Very glad we didn't let him go. I do find it interesting that as an inverted winger, he's getting a lot more goals than Gorbanpour, who's playing as an inside forward on the left. I don't know if there's something with that. Maybe I should be using 2 inverted wingers instead of an inside forward. But as for Gorbanpour, he has now picked up that left attacking mid position nice and quickly, which has definitely helped me kind of feel rather happy with how we're lining up. I did, of course, question if we would tweak things tactically this year. Not needed to. You know what? What we set up at the start of the year with the false 9 is just working, which feels good. I mean, I say it's just working. Obviously, the recent form has been maybe a little bit patchy, but I think a little bit of context is always important to remember. Board expectation for this year is simply to avoid relegation, which we're looking pretty good with. Hence the fact my job security is sat at very secure. As for other players in the team, Abbasi has looked really, really good for us. 6 assists and 4 goals. As I already mentioned, he has signed a new contract at the club. I mentioned it doesn't have a release clause. It does technically have a relegation release clause, but I don't think we're in danger of that. Sadly, his wage rise that I kind of felt like I had to pay, really didn't want to lose this guy for nothing, does mean that we're over the wage budget, which on the one hand, you know, it's a bit annoying. On the other hand, I have no way of remedying that. I'm just going to hope that a board takeover happens at some point soon. Last episode, there was those murmurings of a takeover. Those murmurings amounted to nothing. Yeah, no takeover in sight just yet. As for my own manager, I did actually ask the board about maybe getting me my Continental A license. They said no. So we've still only got a Continental B license, but our reputation is slowly on the rise here in Iran. You can kind of see my manager attributes if you were wondering about them. Somehow, we've already managed 229 games in this save game. I say somehow, we're actually 7 years into this save game, but kind of time flies when you're having fun. I do also wonder if all the shorter seasons have kind of altered my perception. Of course, it's only a 30-game season here in the league in Iran. We're nearly at the halfway point. Anyway, let's see what we can do in this game here. We are away from home. Persepolis, I believe, are a rival of sorts with us. In fact, if I go to general here, does it include a rivalry? It does. It's the Tehran derby away from home. Obviously, we really want to beat them. Interesting to note, they actually play in our stadium. Now, good news for me, and this has been an ongoing trend, I feel like, for much of this season. No injuries, no suspensions to speak of. I think that's definitely helped us with our overperformance, the fact we're not having any issues. What it does mean is, for this game here, we are at full strength. In terms of the team, really happy with how the midfield and attack have been performing generally. Defensively, I do have some question marks, but it's not really defensive issues I can resolve in the immediate future. Mousavi and Garbi at centre-back with not the best ratings. Of course, these two guys, solid centre-backs aerially, but you can see here, 9 acceleration and 8 pace for Garibi, and Mousavi with his 7 acceleration and 7 pace. Yeah, it's not perfect. In an ideal world, I'd have one slow coach with lead boots and a speed demon. We've just got 2 really slow blokes in the defence. Hopefully it's going to be fine today. Now, some of you guys mentioned something, and I've kind of noticed it as well. In this save game, the countries we've managed in, the lighting in the match engine feels different to when I've managed in the Premier League. Now, I don't know if it's just completely, like a false thing that I'm noticing. Has anyone else noticed that? I've seen a few comments regarding it. I don't know. Compare my game to your game if you play at home on the highest settings Football Manager has. The lighting in the 3D match engine, it just looks better in Iran, and I have no idea why. I don't know if it's to do with the climate, or maybe the game has something to do with the temperature set in the light level in game. It seems like nonsense, doesn't it? Maybe I'm just going crazy. It does look better, though. Okay, throwing on the far side, on my word. He's absolutely launched it over the top. Mousavi, though, has read it for us. Of course, we're playing in our blue kit, away from home technically for this game, although it is our own ground. And, well, Abbasi, with that new contract signed, bringing it forward and not really justifying the £2,000 there. Parvin gives it back to Al-Sabah. The centre-back plays it forward. I do not like the fact they're having a lot of the ball inside the first 15 minutes. I say that. They've actually had only 29% of it. We've had 71% of the ball, but they are having a spell of possession here, and we are on the back foot. Rezael crosses it in. Tayebi holding it up, crosses it in. It's half-saved. It's blocked. That is not the most convincing of defending, I'm going to be honest. Gorbanpour, with the power of the headband, is going to try now get it away from danger, but not exactly what I want to see in the early stages. I'm going to shout some words of encouragement at the players. Mortazavi, who's our top goal scorer, has picked up a knock. I will probably take him off. Before I take him off, would be really nice if he could just pop up with a goal to keep his goal-scoring run going. Abbasi losing the ball again in the midfield. And now a counter-attack on for them. Tayebi, dispossessed by Abbasi. I feel like of all the positions we could get an injury, maybe the attacking mid, kind of wider areas, is one of the better places. Obviously, I'm going to hope that's not a serious injury for our top goal scorer, but we have got some pretty good options on off the bench in that part of the pitch. Anyway, you can see there, Hani dropping deep as the false 9, stitching up the play. Soltani plays it forward to Gorbanpour. 2 players in the middle. Hani is one of them. The false 9 getting into a dangerous area, has his efforts saved. And you know what? With that, I'm going to take off Mortazavi here. I think it's going to have to be Alipour who comes on in that wider attacking mid-area. This guy has actually played quite well out on the right-hand side. 1 goal, 2 assists. I'm not going to pretend he's had the craziest of ratings, but most of those appearances coming on off the bench. Okay, Amala in possession. We're just past the halfway mark in this first half. We're dominating possession. It's not been a half full of all that many chances. The play kind of bogged down in the midfield. Does make me wonder if maybe we could go a little bit more direct, maybe get rid of the work the ball into the box instruction, just to maybe take a few more pops on goal. Amala brings it out confidently. Niamsi is now going to step out with it and lose it in an awful area. The defensive mid hung out to dry, and now Gorbanpour shoots. And I said Gorbanpour, that's our player. It's Gandipour. There's lots of pours in this universe. That was anything but a poor effort on goal. What a finish. Niamsi daydreaming. Takhavi picked it up, and Mokhtari maybe should have tracked his man. It's a thunderous finish. Not sure Amala in goals to blame. I was hoping that with our patchy form lately, coming back for a live commentary, maybe it would work out more in our favour. I'm going to get rid of the work the ball into the box instruction, get the players playing a little bit more direct as well, switching to the attacking mentality, want to try and get a few more men up the pitch. Right now we've dominated the play, but just not really created enough of all the possession that we've had. I'm now trying with these changes to strike that balance of let's play on the front foot, let's still try and hold on to the ball a little bit. Anyway, having made those changes, the immediate response is, well, they've got a set piece. Tayabi picking up the short free kick. It's played wide to Takhavi, who's going to look to keep it alive here. To the edge of the box, I do not like this. We are being stretched thin at the back. I feel like with this tactical shape, there's definitely been matches where we've dominated possession and not really created enough. That feels like it could be what's happening here, as Gandhipur is in behind again and scoring again to make it 2-0. I am wondering, is this guy playing on the left or the right-hand side of the midfield? Because he popped up on the right for their first goal. Now he's on the left-hand side, catching our defence off guard. Garibi, I think, played him on. And that is concerning. I can confirm he's their right midfielder. He's currently transfer listed. He's on £7,000 a week. That is quite a lot of money. Just for context, our highest earner's on 3 times less than that. I mean, I knew this was going to be a tough game away from home. Persepolis finished in the top 4 last year and got Asian Champions League football. They are a team that have quality. I'll be honest with you, they've kind of just taken the chances that have came their way. It's not exactly been a creative masterclass for either team this game. I'm going to get the players fired up. I don't think we need to overcomplicate things here too much. Although, if they were to grab a third from kickoff, maybe I would then look to overcomplicate it and change things up. I want to see a response immediately. Can we deliver it? Musavi at centre-back steps out and gives it to Alipur. Abbasi to Mark. Alipur with it. I have to say, with this tactical shape that we're playing, we do score some really nice goals from really nice passing moves. We saw that a little bit at the end of last week against Tractor. That is something that's kind of worked in our favour continually, I feel like, this year. I will admit, as we saw with the goal where, well, who was it? It was Niamsi in the middle, lost the ball. Sometimes it does cost us, our style of play. But, I mean, look at this. If he finishes this, it's one of the best goals you've ever seen. The finish is disappointing at the end of it. The goal itself is beautiful. Just ignore the slide tackle assist. There was patient build-up play. We worked the ball nicely. Hani, as the false nine dropped in. Abbasi gave it to Sultani. Yeah, the slide tackle fall into Hani was fortuitous. But we created that opening. I'm a little bit concerned that Sultani and Abbasi are both on bookings. I think I'm going to take off Sultani in this game and bring in Al Asaf. Of course, this guy's been our go-to super sub attacking mid option. I'm not sure why it said he's played 29 games at centre attacking mid. That's just not true. We've not played 29 games this season. He is going to slot in there. Do I want to change things further? You know what? Gorbanpour's been quiet in this game. I'm going to bring in Azizi. I'm actually going to switch him, I think, to play as an inverted winger on attack instead of the inside forward. I've not done this before. Obviously, Azizi is definitely more of a conventional winger in his attributes. So at least if I play him as an inverted winger, he will still cross the ball occasionally. At the back, I don't necessarily love what I've seen, but our options at the back are just kind of non-existent. We sold a lot of our depth and loaned out a lot of our depth in the defensive area to try and get closer to the wage budget limit. Of course, doing that manoeuvring was what allowed me then to sign Abbasi over the wage budget by offering him a key player role. But maybe this is the kind of game where the attacking changes are the ones that are needed anyway. There's 20 minutes left in this game. I'm going to get Shouty Shouty, or rather, I was going to get Shouty Shouty. We'll wait for this corner that's given to Hani, and Niamsi, are you okay? He just ran away from the ball for a moment. He's recomposed himself, but they are, well, I was going to say looking to break quickly. It kind of looks like we've reorganised our defence, but as we know with how Football Manager works, this could still result in a counter-attack, and it very much has. I thought we were back in this game. It's 3-1. Right, you know what? I could watch their goal. I'm not going to watch their goal. I'm going to change things up here. I'm going to bring in Yaramadi up front. Of course, he was heroic on off the bench against Tractor. If you were thinking, well, maybe that was going to be the moment he kicked on and turned into a star player for us, I'll level with you. He's been very, very quiet so far this year. But we're going to bring him on here and see what he can do up top. Hani's now going to play as an advanced playmaker in behind. I'm kind of going to go here to a weird asymmetric 4-2-3-1. Mokhtari, you can go full back on attack too. We've got to try and get the ball forward and create something here. Right, 15 minutes left in this game to try and turn it around. And if you were expecting a turnaround or at least some highlights in our favour, doesn't really feel like that. They've got a corner, granted. They countered our corner. Could we counter their corner? Hani tries to clear it away. There was a 3-on-2 at the back, but they've reset nicely. And not Gurbanpur, Gandipur. I wish Gurbanpur had scored for us. Gandipur's just got his hat-trick. I am fuming. We are being humiliated in our own backyard by our local rivals. Admittedly, like, they've got the financial power that we do not have. But losing here 4-1 is a bit, well, it lacks dignity, doesn't it? Why is there a kickoff highlight? Why are we showing me more? Can we just stop the count? I mean, even if we get 1 goal back, do you really think we could get 3 in 14 minutes? You know what? I'm being very defeatist. We could definitely bring it back. Alipur, Alisaf, Azizi, bringing it forward. Inside forward, come inverted winger today, kicks it straight at the keeper. That is disappointing. Okay, you know what? This game has been an absolute write-off. It finishes here 4-1. Gandipur, man of the match. I feel like 4-1 flatters them, but we were not good enough in this one. As good as we've been in this first half of the season, that result there maybe is a little bit of a reality check. Granted, if I want to, give you a reason for optimism, we are only actually 5 points off the top of the table. And I don't want to say it prematurely, we're 14 points clear of the drop zone. There is no risk we're going to get relegated. Mortazavi's out for 2 to 3 days. He might be back for the Cup. Maybe. That game's in 3 days in the Cup. I mean, obviously, to earn miles, winning the league or winning cups is the main prerogative. And as much as maybe an Asian Champions League football this year would be a really, really good stretch goal, maybe trying to win a cup is our best way to go about things. Our opposition in the Cup are a team that are only 5 points behind us in the league, in Nasaj. That game's in 3 days' time. I'm going to rest everyone up, going full strength, no rotation. I really hope we can get a win. So as if there wasn't enough incentive to want to win this cup game today, the draw for the next round has happened and we have dodged the big dogs. We will either take on Niroyi Zemini, I hope I'm saying that correctly, or Malavan in the next round. Malavan, probably the more likely team as they play in our division, currently down in 10th. We've dodged a lot of the big boys. Granted, it's only the quarter-final draw that's happened here. But if we could beat Nasaj, which, I mean, is far from easy, their media prediction was 6th for the top division, who've been in a great spot. They've won one of their last 5 games. Granted, the one game they have won in their last 5, our cup opposition, was against the team who are currently top of the league, because that is just how Football Manager works, isn't it? Now, I have rested up the players for this game. I wish I could say we're at full strength, but we're not quite. Musavi is suspended at the back, so as a result of that, Karga, who, to be honest, was one of our go-to centre-back options last year, comes back into the team. He's a rarity in our team. He's a centre-back that can actually run. Elsewhere, Amala in goal has been absolutely shocking, I'm afraid to say, for us. His rating in the last 5 games is a 6.42. We're not far away from the point at which maybe I start to bring in Manardi, our backup goalie. Granted, the man who, of course, isn't contracted properly to the club, has announced he's retiring at the end of the year. So even if I put him in the team, it's not exactly a long-term solution. But you know what? Not going to overcomplicate things here. We are away from home yet again, so maybe something to be aware of there. But I'm hoping we can step up and play better than we did last time. We can't lose 4-1 again. I mean, saying that, literally we could lose 4-1 again. But let's hope we don't. Gonna hope that domination in possession translates into goals in this one. Early corner for us, whipped in, headed at the goalie. But at least we're testing them early on. Also, this might be the first game I can remember while I've been managing in Iran where it's raining. I don't feel like it rained as much in Iran as perhaps other parts of the world. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should wish it wouldn't rain because they've just scored. They are singing in the rain. I am in pain. It is my least favourite highlight that you just see all the time in this match engine. Throw in, thrown short, crossed into the back post, and it's just a mismatch as, well, Mark just gets out-jumped. There's not really anything else to say. That was, by the way, their first shot on goal of the game. I'll be honest, we've not had as much of the ball in this game as I'd like to see with our instructions. So I'm going to get rid of the work the ball into the box instruction. Just encourage us to maybe take the pop shot from range occasionally, not perhaps be as patient as we have been. Maybe I'm going to have to change things up if they score, because Medipur's bringing it forward. There's an air of kind of discontent. Can you tell in the commentary today? I just feel sad. I feel not defeated, because I feel like we had such a good start to the year and we're still overperforming. But there's a reality check incurring. And I mean, they've scored a second. When do I start to worry? I mean, just as a reminder, the job security is very secure. And we've had a great start to the year by all accounts. But going out the cup early on, after I've just talked about how maybe a route to the finals opening up for us, would just be a little bit gutting. And right now we are sinking without a trace. I'm going to change things up in this game. I'm actually going to move Sultani to centre attacking mid for us and play him as an attacking midfielder. And Niamsi, I'm going to bring forward to play as a centre mid on defend with Abassi as a deep line playmaker. And if you're wondering, Jack, why are you making those changes? Honestly, I just feel a little bit desperate. I don't love a 4-2-3-1 without two defensive mids in this match engine. But of all the attacking mids roles they could be playing against us, they are playing an enganche. So I'm kind of hoping that without a kind of anchor man between our two more mobile centre mids, they can probably pick him up when we need to. Granted, so far all we've seen in this game is highlight after highlight for them. And that was almost a stupendous goal. Amala makes a great stop. I mean, I'm going to berate the players. This is awful. This is, look, green happy smiley faces. Let's see a response now that I've berated them. Mark Abbasi loses out the ball. Mark, please don't get sent off. Did anyone else panic for a moment? I don't know what I would have done there. He's already on a yellow. Tackling a man from behind is risky. Abbasi dinks it. Mortazavi back from injury. Whips it back post. It's headed. I don't know if that hit the post or was saved, but we have actually created a chance, and now there's another. Abbasi does love a free kick as well. Not going to big him up too much, but watch. And I was going to say, learn. He's hit the woodwork. It's 2-0. At least we're showing signs of life suddenly. I mean, half-time in this game, we're still 2 goals down. So the signs of life, but it's not exactly promising. I'm going to make some further changes here. Yaramadi, on you come. Elsewhere, I'm just looking at the underperformers. Sultani has been awful. Alasaf, on you come, my friend. Mark's on a booking, but he's just better than everyone else, so he is going to have to stay on. I'm going to change our mentality to attacking. I'm going to get rid of kind of these other instructions and just look to focus the play through the middle. And in transition, you know what? They're playing with an enganche and one striker. They're not going to be pressing our centre-backs. Let's distribute it to the centre-backs and still try and build it up through the middle if we can. They've had 3 shots on target. 2 of them have gone in. We've had plenty of shots on target. Our conversion rate is not the same, but we have converted one there. Garibi scores. Maybe that gives me some hope. I did think with all our centre-backs who are great in the air that we'd score more set pieces than we have this year. That's a really nice header. Keeper got a hand to it. No one on the post to block it. It's a 1-goal game. Let's encourage the players here. The fight back is on. There are green, smiley, happy faces. And on the stroke of the hour mark, could we cut the deficit to 0? We're a goal down right now. Alasaf on off the bench with a pass where he's just not on the same wavelength as the man he was passing it towards. They've now picked up the ball in the middle. I'm pleased to say that I do feel like the tide has turned in this game a little bit. We were on the back foot prior to the tactical changes. We've got a little bit more attacking with our midfield setup, but it's definitely just given us, well, a bit of respite at the back. Although, what are we doing here? No look pass off the back. You know what? Works for me. Alasaf, through on goal. On off the bench, shoots, is blocked. There's people in the middle, but it's dealt with. Could we create something? It's sure. He hit the crossbar. We've hit the post 3 times in this game. We are playing well. Look at the XG. This has been a kind of response I need to see. We are underdogs in this game. We're away from home. Their media prediction is a lot higher than ours. Azizi, on you come. Mortazavi off. Ali Poron on the right. At the back, players are exhausted. Amadi, come on and play left back. I've made all my subs. There's 20 minutes left in this game. I'll shout encourage yet again. I want to try and manifest something here. I'm trying to be positive. We need to dig deep. There's 10 minutes left in this game. We are running out of time. Pass the ball into space. Go a little bit more direct. In transition, distribute it quickly to the flanks. Get it to our 2 inverted players and let them try and make something happen. Time to go very attacking. There is 2 minutes left. I don't think they've had a shot in this second half. It's been a ridiculous game of football. But despite playing well, despite coming back and turning things around in terms of momentum, we've just not found the goals. And now we're out of the cup. And as far as episodes could go, today's been nothing short of a disaster. I mean, on the one hand, at least we can now focus on the league. Maybe? I don't know how to feel. Part of me's now wondering, were we just flukily overperforming to start the year? Was it just a case of momentum? Players' morale being good, getting some wins on the bounce. I suppose now we are being tested. 1 win in 6 games really does not look pretty. If there was a saving grace to be had, our next game at the end of the month is against the team who are bottom. So maybe a chance to build up some momentum then. But we're almost at the halfway point in the season. I was next episode thinking about coming back for the games against Paikan and Zob Ahan, the 2 tycoon teams who find themselves in 1st and 2nd. I still feel like I might come back for those games, but if we bottle them or don't do well, our season is just kind of over, isn't it? I will say I've not really changed the tactic as radically as I did in that last game, and maybe it was just desperation and knowing that it was a cup game where we have to turn things around more. If we do look at the XG table, currently we're exactly where we should be in 7th, which, just as a little reminder, is still actually a really, really good performance. As much as I've got Gideon carried away and talked about continental football this and wanting to, try and win the league and whatever, reality check, reality, just full stop. Our wages are half that of the top half place teams in the league, and of the teams competing for those kind of continental spots, we don't even come close to them. Like, we're really punching above our weight even right now. All right, you know what? If you've got until the end of the video, down below, leave some words of support, affirmation, and make me feel happy about myself. We're going to be back next time, in about 2 months' time, to take on the team currently top and the team currently second. Lose them, I'll have a cry. Win against them, we're going to win the league again. Which will it be? Come back tomorrow to find out. I'll see you guys next time.